Hi there, my name is Cecilia Maida, and many of you know me because you've seen me in some of my other videos. The one that was calling all activists I refer to, that's when I'm going, are you tired of being blocked? Are you tired of animal control coming after you? Are you tired of them killing your shelter? Let me know your story of the shelter of horrors, and I've asked you for that for the the media I had. I heard from 34,000 people have seen that video on Facebook, and I saw that, and I started other videos, so I went ahead and I'm happy to say that I now have a YouTube channel. It's the Animal Welfare Media Lady on YouTube, where all the videos are there for you to view. Now, the one seen 34,000 times, it looks like it's been seen 10 because I just got it up. But that's irregardless as far as the number of views. But I just want to let you know, I'm excited because everybody keeps coming to me and wanting to know, what can we do? What can we do? What can you do? Because I kind of have like the big picture way I look at things. And everybody knows that I did a petition that was addressing the USDA being busted on the front page of the New York Times. And that for national shelter reform with no zip code barriers, so that we could use it all across the nation. And I had a vision at that time when I did that, and I'm happy to say that that vision has come to fruition. We are in an election year, and I've been trying very hard to get people to write letters, etc. over the years, but people are busy and they don't have time, and I don't even know if people really write letters anymore, which we need to go back to that and put pen to paper to help these animals. But no, that's not neither here nor there at the moment, because what we're trying to focus on is this is an election. And I want people to understand that you have come to me and you've asked me, what can we do? So what I have done is I have launched PAWS Across America advocacy protest event groups all through all 50 states. We have the main group. So please, I'm asking you today, if you want to participate in being part of the solution, go to PAWS Across America on Facebook. I said that is the main group. And then you can go in there and you can see what's going on and everything, and you can read the About section. And it's designed so that people like you, maybe you don't know how to do a protest, and it tells you, hey, if you want to do a protest, then you need to go to your city officials and ask them, what kind of permits do I need? How many people can I have before I need police protection? What side of the street do I have to stand on? What time of day can I be there? What time of day? What side, anything like that. If you want to get bolder, you want to be creative, you want to put a banner over the freeway, ask them, how big can the banner be? What do I have to fix it to? How long can it be? Anything like that. When do I have to put it up? When do I have to take it down, etc. And I always have a great suggestion for the banners, though, is that we're trying to get these legislators to pay attention. And most of the laws are handled at the lower levels, like your city council, board of supervisors, city managers, your mayors and your governors. So if you're trying to figure out where to put the banner, find out where their offices are, find the nearest overpass, and maybe use honk for animal welfare candidates only. So if they want to ignore you, they can't because they're hearing the honking. That's my funny thing. And the main thing is we want to make it clear to them that we're going to be taking to the streets on June 15th of this year in cities all across America, and we're going to be letting them know that we are holding our votes hostage for animal welfare candidates. And you go, well, that's obvious here. But one thing what I've found there's a big disconnect on is that people don't understand that there are party line affiliations with that, etc. So you may have to, instead of being just straight line party ticket out voters, you may have to zigzag vote and make some hard decisions of something you've done all your life if you want to help these animals. And one of the reasons, things I want to draw your attention to is that I know a lot of people don't like the Humane Society, but they do a lot of wonderful things also. And what they have is they have the Humane Scorecard. And you can just find this by just Googling Humane Society Legislative Scorecard. These should be your new Bible before you ever go to the polls, because of the fact that in here they actually list, this is 2011, and they list things like, puppy mills, horse slaughter, etc. And these are your federal representatives right here. And they will list them by state, and they tell you the scores of the individuals. So if you have a representative with a very low score, that's letting you know that they're not helping the animals in your state, and you may want to reconsider voting them back in. And then these are your federal representatives. And then when you turn the pages here, you get down to where now you are at your House representatives, and they're by the district. And you'll know, you go, oh, we have 10 or 15 Republicans and 5 Democrats. But when you start reviewing this information and using it like the gospel as I have, unfortunately you do see a party line affiliation. And the bottom line is that predominantly the people that are voting anti-animal are the Republican Party. And that's not saying all of them are, so don't get upset right now and get mad if you're Republican, because this is not about me slamming a party. This is about educating how they vote. We have Senator in Florida who just got 100 on it. We have a senator here in California who just introduced a great bill, even though it got voted down, to try and increase animal welfare. So there are good Republicans out there, and then if you are a Republican, you need to hold their feet to the fire if they have low scores here. But we have Democrats with low scores too, and traditionally it follows a line to where, like, if they're basically, if their interests lie with the agricultural and or the ranchers, the cattle growers association, so like in Wyoming, Montana, Utah, even Nevada, they traditionally will have low scores, even whether the Republicans are Democrats. And or if they're in the deep South, where maybe the cultural values of how they treat animals are like they're not worth anything, they're not much better than dirt. And in Kentucky is a perfect example. They actually changed the wording of a law to say that in the state of Kentucky, there are no minimum shelter requirements whatsoever for animals in the entire state. And we've got some really active people over there involved in PAWS. You have a Ron Shaw in Kentucky. He can, you can go to him about anything Kentucky related. We've got some really motivated people in New York. Donna Quinn's been leading the admin there. She's got some other people involved. You can go check out their group. They've got 4 protests already set up all over the state of New York, which is really great news because people in New York are really stepping up to the plate for animals. And that's why I'm reaching out to you today, because we have a lot of groups sitting there with no one in them at all. And we need each one of you that have come to me and said, what can I do? I want to participate. You need to go to the original group, and then you need to go Google your state and add PAWS Across America Advocacy to it so that you can find your group and join in and go to the main group and add all your friends. We need a big audience there so that everybody can see what we're trying to do, because the elections are coming and June 15th will be here soon. And what I want people to understand, if you're a part of a group and you're already established, you don't have to do this the PAWS way. I'm not your competition. I'm not an organization. I'm a grassroots, and I'm responding to 34,000 people asking me what to do. And because this is an election year, and I need for people to understand how their vote directly correlates to the animal cruelty in their communities. And I said, and in my prior videos, I made it clear to people, because I'm still seeing people out there doing it. They're saying, vote for Bernie, vote for Bernie. He has a 100% scorecard. He's the vote, to stop the suffering of all the animals. But I want to make it clear to you, if you go through these scorecards, you'll see a large majority of the Democrats do have 100. And I'm not saying don't vote for Bernie. I'm not slamming him by any means. I'm just, basically, I use his name because I see so many people on Twitter, doing graphics saying, vote for Bernie will end animal cruelty. And that is not true, because a president cannot affect the law changes at the city and the state and the level. Most of the laws that are affecting your local animals are at your city council, board of supervisors, city manager, your mayor, your governor, etc. And Kentucky, you have your judge magistrates, etc. They have different names for them in different places, and parishes, and etc., like in Louisiana. But the main thing, I wanted to make it clear that there's no quick fix. It's not one vote fixes all. You've got to go and Bernie Sanders is a good bet. He has 100. Hillary Clinton has a great animal welfare record, but they're both Democrats. That's traditional. We know that Ted Cruz only has a score of 20 on the Humane Society scorecard. I don't know. You should think twice. Rubio, if they were to bring him back, 20, not a good score. Kasich, I don't really know what his score is because he's a governor, and none of these track the governors. Trump, we know nothing because he's never held public office. All we do know about him is that his children are out shooting elephants and rhinos and having fun killing endangered species over in Africa. And I do know, I've been told that he does canned hunts himself. So that would be a questionable decision for you to make if you want to help the animals in the future, because while he can't affect laws on the state level, they can affect, who they appoint to specific areas of leadership, like the USDA, the BLM, some of these large animal welfare organizations. So that's how the president's tie in. And or like Cecil the lion, he went across national borders and killed that lion, and the outcry was so loud, he was able, President Obama was able to institute laws to stop them shipping in trophy things. But anyway, bottom line is you can't contact your president if you have dog fighting in your community, or if animals are tied to trees, or if people are abusing them in your neighborhood. And that said, I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on that. And what is most important is that I want you to know that when you go place your vote, I want you to go to this, not only this, the Humane Society scorecard, they have Vote Smart, and if you're in any state, you can do California Legislative app, New York Legislative app, Florida Legislative app. We've got a great group going on in Florida, by the way. They're working down there hard too. And they really need a lot of help because, we have Miami-Dade, it's a killing machine also. So please, Floridans, please join in. And that goes the same for everywhere. Texas, we need your help. El Paso, it's a horrible killing machine. San Antonio, we need you everywhere. But this is the point. We're trying to all unite on one day, and I'm trying to mimic Hands Across America. Some of you may be too young, but I'm giving my age away. But where we all united as one, and we held hands. I was standing on Hollywood Boulevard in the 80s, and I was holding hands with strangers, and as far as I could see, there were people holding hands. That was a very powerful moment to me. And that's what I'm just trying to recreate, a movement here of when we all unite as one. And, you know, the group in Southern California is no different than me. If you're the Chihuahuas of Bakersfield, you're the Pit Bulls of Pennsylvania, if you're the, you know, whoever, whatever group you are, you know, crimes against animals, I can't even name them all. There's so many thousands of groups. But I want you to understand is that we need every group to say on June 15th, I'm in. And then if you come and say into the main group and go, hi, I'm Crimes Against Animals, and I'm the Pit Bulls of Pittsburgh, and I'm the Chihuahuas of Bakersfield, or I'm the Cocker Spaniels of Houston, or whoever you are, you come in to PAWS and say, I'm in. We will be taken to the streets on June 15th. And in California, we have a perfect example. We're going to be on the north side of the Capitol in Sacramento, California, and we're joining in with another group right off the bat here, and they're the Duo Project, and they're focusing on trying to stop the dog and cat meat trade in China. And the reason why you go, why would they be doing that in California? Because California in 2014, they signed an agreement to be a sister state with, you know, an area in China. So they're going to be joining us, and they're trying to work with the Chinese dogs, but they're joining PAWS Across America, and we're going to stand side by side, because united we can make this happen, but divided we fall. And I see all these groups, and they go, oh, I'm too busy, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. But I want everybody, if you can get nothing, I want everybody to understand, let's all join. And if you don't even want to do it my PAWS way, if you're established, you're organized, you have your own media, you go do it your thing. You don't have to do it my way. PAWS was just established so that people who didn't know how could go into the About section and learn how to do it. And that's, again, you go back to the city, how to do a protest, and then you go and you want to meet with your representatives. And also, you want to have somebody who's media savvy, because we'll be able to be doing sample press releases. I'll be doing another video on that, so you won't be out in the cold wondering how to do it. And then inviting people in. And the most important is, let's get as many people out there, share this around, and let's get everybody. We want PAWS Across America advocacy protest event to be so big to where the elected officials are going to be shaking in their glass cages, just like those animals have shaked in cages that are being killed every night in the local shelters around us. And I'm happy to say that we're getting a lot of people that are starting to pay attention. Last week I was on the Wicked Rescue radio show. Thank you, Kat Robinson. She's doing wonderful things out there. And I'm going to be this Tuesday, April 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be on the Debbie Dahmer Voices Carry for Animals, which is part of the Marty Oakley Blog Talk Radio. So please join in and listen, because they will be asking for people to call in at the end of the show. And Debbie Dahmer and Kat, they have both spoken up, and Debbie Dahmer has stated that she's going to be promoting PAWS Across America aggressively on every show until June 15th. So please listen to both of these stations. They're doing great things. We have a lot of people that need to come and join this cause. And also, one thing I have neglected to talk about before and everything, we're always talking about the dogs and the cats. Right now we've got a serious crisis going on with the animals, so I invite people to go to the, and I'm going to have to put on my glasses because I'm getting old here, I can't read. We need to get people, they need to go to the Wild Horse Federation. We need to get them to go to the Cloud Foundation, and we need to go to the, where is it? That is the Wild Horse Freedom Federation, the Wild Horse Preservation, any of these groups here, right here. And then also we have another wonderful lady named Debbie Coffey who hosts another show on the same Marty Oakley Blog Talk Radio. She does the Wild Horse Borough Radio on Thursday nights, and she's doing great things, trying to help save the horses, because right now they're in dire crisis. The BLM has been doing illegal roundups. They're being sued in Utah for the checkerboard roundup. Hundreds of horses injured, and they have 50,000 horses in holding pens and corrals, and they're just sitting there. They're not running free where our taxpayer dollars are expecting them to be with the BLM protection. Instead, they're getting ready to try and do another roundup in Wyoming, and in addition, the new BLM director has just put language into the federal budget that's before the President of the United States, trying to remove the federal protections and move it to the state level, which unfortunately would be disastrous, because that's why we have federal protection, because of the fact that the states are wanting to get those wild horses and burros off there so that they can have the Cattle Growers Association come in and take over that land and raise more cattle. Yes, and you guys know, if you wonder why I did the big petition, in taxpayers funded animal cruelty with the help of Julia Sharp at the time, and why we were talking about the USDA, because the USDA oversees all the animals. They were busted for animal cruelty on the front page of the New York Times, and then we found out Wildlife Services was busted up Highway 50 here in the Sierra Nevada mountains. They were, using illegal explosive devices. They were selling banned substances like DDT and Agent Orange to the ranchers to kill off the coyotes. Go to predatordefense.org. Watch the video exposed. They tested the poisons on shelter animal dogs. It's horrifying. And so we have USDA busted on the front page of the New York Times, $22.7 million of your taxpayer dollars to profit factory farms doing experiments at the Nebraska Research Facility. And then we have Wildlife Services corrupt. We have BLM over here trying to kill off all the wild horses. I think they've done it to the burros already. We have the Fish and Wildlife in Florida allowing sport hunts on endangered black bears, not even knowing how many there are. Might as well add the Forest Service. They're over here allowing big oil to go in and it's destroying habitat that the animals need to survive. So all these agencies are not doing good. And we need to take control and let our government know that we are no longer going to allow them to let the Cattle Growers Association, the pig farmers, the factory farms to control our nation anymore, because as long as they do, the animals can have no rights, and so that they can freely abuse them. And so you wonder why you can't get stronger laws in your community, because if they ever allow animals to have rights, even the cats and the dogs, and that transfers to the cow, the pig, the chicken, and the horse, and that will affect the factory farms, the United States of America, which are big mega corporations. And I wanted to share with you, the USDA was busted for animal cruelty. I did the big petition in taxpayers funded animal cruelty, and that has now led to, I'm happy to say, Senate Bill S-388 and House Bill H.R. 746, which would amend the Animal Welfare Act of 1966 to remove the exemption for farm animals, which would, but only relating to the USDA research animals. But this is good, because that would mean big ag's taking a step backwards. So I would like everybody, if you could stop and contact your reps, go to Who's My Rep right now, and then make your call, write your email, do whatever, and right now, and tell them you want them to support Senate Bill S-388 and or H.R. 746, and you want them to go one step further. You want to amend the Animal Welfare Act of 1966 to remove the to remove the exemption for farm animals and put them back in relating to all farm animals, not just the research. And I learned since I did the petition, is that was also when they started breeding animals to sell for research. So you add that to your letter too. And if everybody were to stop and do that right now, we could literally be one step closing to all the factory farmers across America and putting them back to the small farmers and ranchers around the United States of America who could raise the cattle and thrive off feeding America, because we know that not everyone is going to go vegan, and we have to be realistic here in what we're demanding. There is a large majority of Americans do eat meat, but we want them to be treated humanely and with as long as they're on this earth, and not in gestation crates and lots of chickens in cages. And it's starting to work. They're starting to hear us, but the louder we get, the better it is. So I want everybody to understand, don't say you don't like politics, don't say you won't vote for anybody because you hate them all, because every time you say that, the animals are hurting. You're hurting the animals, because you dedicate, you cross-post all night, you foster, you transport, you do it all. You do animal control in America, because the states have failed. And it is up to you now to step up and do what the animals need for you to stop their suffering, so that you don't have to cross-post, foster, transport, and do all this, because of the fact that if you can change the laws, you can change the suffering, and that you have to educate on who you vote for. And if I haven't sold you yet, think about it. Pennsylvania, you've got puppy mills. Arkansas, you have puppy mills. You don't like that? Why did you vote them in? They're legal. Same thing down in the South. You don't like it down in Kentucky, the fact that your animals don't even have to have any kind of minimum shelter requirements, you know what I mean, and the way they treat animals down there, then why do you keep voting in the same people? In the Carolinas, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's deplorable down there what's going on. But you keep voting in the same party line people. And if you don't believe me, and unfortunately it is traditionally the Republicans that write the ag-gag bills. My county here in California, El Dorado County, I went and did my homework. I went and found out what is the number of the ag-gag bill. I called my representatives up and I went and found a copy. I printed it out. And all 6 names on that ag-gag bill, which would make me and you the criminals if we videotape the abuse of the farm animals or go get a job knowingly or whatever. And they use trickery. They say, oh no, we believe you have such a duty to report that we want you to either drive in the driveway and show the owner that downed cow, the video you just took. Yes, right, we're going to go do that before we bring it to the police. We'd probably get shot. Secondly, and or we have to do it within 48 hours and bring it to the police. And you know what's going to happen. If me and you walk in and show them a video of one cow out in the field, you know, within 48 hours of it happening, they're going to probably laugh us out of the building and go, oh, wow, lady, a sick cow. So they use trickery, you know, and you guys have to see past this, trying to get you to vote it in. But in our state, California, I'm happy to say they got so terrified of all the animal activists that they even pulled it from the vote. But I want to let you know that it was a Republican out of Fresno who sponsored it. We had several other Republicans, but my representative, El Dorado County, Frank Bigelow, he's a Republican and he's also Tea Party. He actually co-sponsored it, and I wanted people to understand the ramifications of that. Is that if you are a Republican and you are in El Dorado County, which is traditionally Republican, and if you just vote a Vine party line, I've met them. They were down at the Michael Vick screening of the movie Champions, trying to help save the dogs that are being fought from being killed. And I said, did you vote for Frank Bigelow? And she said, yes. And I said, well, do you just voted for death to animals? They want, you're the criminal if you go try and help them. It's because that's what does it. Criminalizes us. We would be criminals if we didn't do those 2 steps, turned in with 48 hours. But also, Idaho passed it. Some woman got pulled over, and then they cuffed her. She thought they were there to help her with the sick cow, but no, they cuffed her and took her in because she was videoing the cow without permission that was injured. And this is what happened. They went to the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and they considered it to be unconstitutional. And I feel that after that, they should have gone back to the lawmakers who wrote that unconstitutional law, and they should have removed them from office. But they didn't. And you know that they're, you know, like that. And like my representative right here, he co-sponsored an unconstitutional bill. But these are Republicans, and you're voting these guys in, and Democrats. We've got Senator Webb. She's a lady down in Kentucky. She jumps onto the Kentucky Houndsman's page and she brags, boy howdy, we shut down the Humane Society on that one, didn't they? They literally slander anybody trying to help the animals. And she's a Democratic senator from Kentucky, so it isn't across the board. Anybody who's against animals, but we need to let them know that we are going to educate, and we're going to go to our Humane Society side card. We're going to go to VoteSmart. We're going to sit there and we're going to do a checklist, and we're going to contact our city council, our board of supervisors, anybody that is local. And you can do that. Just do a checklist. Send a letter to them. Say, I want to know how you feel on this. I want to know how you feel on this. And, you know, how do you feel on, the kill rate at our shelters? What are you going to do to improve it? What are you going to do to go to no kill? Do this to your city council members, your board of supervisors. Make this happen. The animals can't take it any longer. They can't take it any longer that you're too busy to stop and do this because you're too busy cross-posting the ones that have already suffered the plight of the bad laws. And there's just a big disconnect here. And I am praying, I am literally praying that you will understand that until you stop cross-posting and everything else and take the time to contact your representatives and speak up, and most importantly, you register to vote. And if you don't register to vote, you're one animal advocate that's working hard, that's not a voice for these animals. I have a rescue right here behind me. I have another rescue kitty cat over here. You know what I mean? But I'm doing my part to ensure that I know that any animals that come behind them in my community are going to get help, because I'm going to fight for the laws. And I'm hoping that you too will join me. And I wanted to address something too. Also, the petition that I state that I had to all you people out there that I said, oh, I'm going to send this to you with signers. Unfortunately, there's been a mishap over politics. I initially, back a year ago, I wasn't feeling well, and everybody knows I have health issues with my polycystic kidney disease. A woman in Kentucky named Julia Sharp had offered to upload it for me, and she had added some information. She's a very intellectual woman and knows a lot of her stuff. But she drafted it and retyped it and got the links in, because I told her, I said, hey, I'm well enough to type it, but I'm well enough to write it, but I'm not well enough to get it up on. So she offered out of the kindness of her heart to upload that petition. But over time, our viewpoints started changing and everything was fine. And then, unfortunately, the last video I made a comment about a vote for Bernie is not a vote that will end animal welfare, and she's very interested in Bernie becoming our president. So the bottom line, at that moment in time, she threatened to delete the petition, and then she started telling people it was not even my petition, that I was actually stealing it from her. When anybody who would like me, you can feel free to private message me. I have the original email where I sent the petition to Julia Sharp, and it says, in the LADY-CECILIA's petition, and I have everywhere she's saying, is this picture good, where she actually was setting it up for me. And yes, she did type it in, and yes, she did chop it up and get it into those smaller formats for change.org. We had almost about 7,000 there, and then we were having technical difficulties, and they were making us pay to boost, so we moved over to Move On, and we had almost 13,000 there before she threatened to delete it, and I quit messing with it. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, she just deleted it the other day without asking me. So the 20,000 signers that we have on the petition are poof, they're gone, because I don't want to vote for Bernie Sanders. And that's my right as an American to vote for who I desire to vote for. But anyway, I want to let you know, no worries, Julia. I don't feel that that was the right thing to do, and I'm assuming you're probably going to see this video. I would appreciate it if you would have handled it in a different manner, because you did not hurt me. You hurt the animals, because I was wanting to give the people that are meeting with their representatives in all 50 states to walk into those meetings with the power of feeling 20,000 signers between that Change.org and Move. I said, and you took that away from them by just deleting that petition because you are mad at me because I'm not voting for Bernie. And I'm sorry, I'm still not voting for Bernie. It didn't change my opinion. And I said, but that's just, you know, how I feel about things. And everybody has a right to vote for who they are, as long as they're animal welfare friendly. And also, while we're on the subject, everybody that's voting, most people, not everybody, a lot of people voting for Bernie are just slandering Hillary Clinton. But we have two animal welfare candidates. We have Bernie Sanders, who has a 100 score on the Humane Society scorecard, as do most Democrats. It isn't like, you know, he's the only one. Hillary Clinton had high scores when she was in the Senate. We don't have anything recent because she was the Secretary of State. So they also have the Clinton Foundation, where they're helping to stop the elephants from being poached to kill them for their ivory in the ivory trade. Millions of dollars. They've met with nations. They're the ones who put it on the map to try and stop this, and really, you know, participate in helping to stop the ivory trade. So, I mean, Hillary Clinton has a wonderful scorecard. So that's why I'm very upset when I'm talking about the Bernie situation, because how can you go slander the only other animal welfare candidate we have and state you're in this for the animals? Because if anyone else gets in office, Ted Cruz with a 20, Rubio with a 20, Donald Trump with a God only knows when his kids are killed. I mean, let's think about this. And I'm not even endorsing a candidate. This is all about animal welfare, education before you vote. They're the only two that have proven track records to help the animals. And then you can use your other things. So you may have to zigzag vote and figure this all out. But I want to address that with you. But no worries. I have the original draft of the petition, which is the full, long version before it got chopped up. And I'm going to be preparing that to send everybody. We did a lot of screenshots of a lot of the signers. We know how many there were, so Julia will not derail PAWS Across America just because she's mad at me. So we'll clear on that. And then most importantly, what I wanted to let you know is that PAWS Across America is only going to be as successful as you make it. So let's all join together and unite, and let's hold hands. And no, I take that back. Let's hold paws. And let's be here for these guys. I have a rescue behind me, a rescue over here. But only you and I, we've got to understand that these guys only needed rescuing because of the horrible laws that didn't protect them. And if we can change these laws, then we can change the future of where this is going. Because my goal is so you don't have to cross-post, you don't have to rescue, you don't have to foster. Your taxpayer dollars paid for that. And we have a failed, broken system, and it's at the state level in every state across this country. And the only one who can fix it is you, by your vote. And this is an election year. And if you can stop and take the time, please. The animals are begging you. They can't go vote. They're tied to trees. They're in puppy mills. They're being bred to fight, and they don't want to fight. They're being thrown out car windows. They're being lit on fire. They're being shot by the neighbors. They're being drowned. They're being hung. They're being everything. You know the horror stories you've seen. But you've come to me saying, get the media, get the media, get the media. But oh no, but I'm too afraid because if the director finds out, then they're going to block me from pulling. You know everything you've come to me with, and I'm giving you the solution. And the solution is you and the power of your vote and educating before you vote. And I don't care how you feel about abortion and gun control and immigration. You decide what's more important, the animals or how you feel about certain issues like that. But as far as I'm concerned, all of the candidates are pretty much on the same wavelength. Bernie and Hillary are very similar in many areas, you know what I mean? And they're both good for animal welfare. So if you want to vote for Bernie, more power to you. If you want to vote for Hillary, more power to you. But if you're voting for Cruz or Rubio if he comes back, or Trump, then I want you to think again, because of the fact if you're out there killing yourself trying to save these animals, I don't think you're bringing in someone that's going to be there to help them. And you just pay attention, is that look across this country, and when you look to the south, those are the Republican-controlled states, where is the worst animal cruelty in the United States of America? It is in those states controlled by the Republicans. And I want my representative to know, up here, I have Frank Bigelow and I have Tom McClintock, and he's horrifying to animals, and I've been able to tell them about that. We have a bill shot down. It's Senate Bill at 1395 that just got shot down to double animal cruelty in California. We're working hard to try and find out what's going on. We're on the phone with our legislators. We're going to meet with them. You have to do the same in your communities. Take the time if it matters. And that's all I can ask you today, is take the time if it matters. And any of you in California, please join us. And we're going to be in Sacramento in the Capitol, and hopefully somebody in Southern California will step up and get something up going down there. And hopefully somebody will step up in every city across America. And even if you don't want to do it our way, you want to do it your way, just do it on June 15th. And I will end with this. If you can't be there because of all the 15 million reasons that you could have that you couldn't be, on June 15th, make a note on your calendar. Take the little picture and hang it around your dog's nest and go, hi, we're the Smiths and we're Ohio and we're voting animal welfare candidates only. You know, hi, my mom is voting animal welfare candidates only. And just focus on that and make a presence. Do a little, go down to the city hall, get your family with your lawn chairs, take some pictures, do a video, go post it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all your social media. But just do it on June 15th. And take a moment to stop. If you don't write a letter ever, on June 15th, go to who are my representatives and write that letter and say, I want you to support Senate Bill S-388 and our H.R. 746 to amend the Animal Welfare Act of 1966, add the farm animals back in, and we want them to stop breeding animals for research. We want animals to have rights. We do not want them to be considered property or chattel in all 50 states. And that we are no longer going to sit here and allow this animal abuse to continue, because it is translating into a very volatile society with high crime. And even the FBI states that animal cruelty is a top-tier crime against society. Everybody knows that as of January 2016, that was a new classification. And for all those out there that say it doesn't work, I will beg to differ, because I have used it 3 times. And if you know how to use it, it does work. And the basically is that you just state that you are a citizen, and if you have a police officer refusing to take your report, then you evoke that and you say, I am a citizen, and under the new FBI Uniform Crime Report classification, that animal cruelty is a top-tier crime against society, you are under mandatory reporting requirements, so you will come to my house and take the report on my neighbor shooting my dog. You will come here and talk about the director that's harming them. You will come here and talk about the dog that was injured by your next door neighbor or anything like that. And then if they refuse, then you let them know that the top agents at the FBI have informed you that you need to report them for failure to comply with the mandatory reporting requirements and get their name and their badge number. And then you in turn report them via phone, via walk in the office and online, reporting to the FBI to their tip line, and let them know that you have police officers refusing to comply. That's the only way we're going to stop these little redneck police officers from understanding, because they're under mandatory reporting requirements. So you have the power, and anybody writing these articles saying it doesn't work, stop it, because I've used it and it has worked. And so anyway, it does work, but we're getting tools available to us, but then as soon as you get a tool, somebody goes online and posts something that says it doesn't work. And here we go, I had a petition with 20,000 signers, and then a lady gets mad at me and then deletes it. Poof, it's gone. And even tells people I stole it from her. But this is the ending to the story here. As I've given you the tools, I've led you to where you can go. PAWS Across America in all 50 states. And thank you, Jennifer Kennedy, for coming in and stepping in, because everyone knows I have health issues, and this woman is working her fingers to the bone, doing all the graphics in every state and doing the adminning, and she deserves an applause big time. And I want to thank all the people who have stepped up, the Donna Quinns, Mike Hausenbauer in Virginia, powerhouse letter writer. He's got some groups out there. We've got Anita Warren down in Arizona. We've got Lisa Merkin and Lisa Clifton Merkin, and excuse me if I get the names wrong, but down in Florida. We've got B. Tuberville in Oklahoma. We're getting people scattered. We got Patty Chavez in El Paso. Teresa Frady, I think, down in Texas. And if I'm getting all the names wrong. But anyway, the main thing is Jennifer Kennedy. If you go to the main group, just ask her who's adminning. You can join in because they're big states. And every city across America needs you right now. And these little guys, these animals need you. Because if the laws don't change, the suffering continues. And we're in an election and they can't take 4 more years. Anyway, thank you for listening, and go to my YouTube, Animal Welfare Media Lady, and please check out all my other videos, and God bless all the rescuers, and I'm not chastising you for being too busy and too tired. I'm just asking you to think for one moment. If you can just stop, and write a letter and a few paragraphs, and then talk to your representatives locally, find out about your local chaining, tethering, you know, make an effort to change the laws. And you can change the future of animal cruelty in the United States of America. And I said, and the main thing, and my slogan for this whole PAWS Across America in all 50 states, whenever I'm doing the press releases, which by the way, I will be doing a video also to help you guys along there, so don't get worried about that. I'll do a sample press release, and we'll have these documents pinned in the main group, and you can ask us to email them if you have issues with that too. But my new slogan is, we're going to make sure that the media is going to be going, we don't know what's going on, but they're in all 50 states and they're taking to the streets. And it looks like there's no organized group or anything. It's just citizens all across the United States of America. And they're coming out and they're all with a common theme. We are holding our votes hostage for animal welfare candidates only. And I said, and we're going to make it clear to them that this 2016 election is going to the dogs. And we will no longer allow them to make these animals be nothing and be abused, because we as citizens can't take the stress, nor do you deserve to have to pay twice to go pull them and pay for their vetting and their transport and their fostering and their boarding and everything. You deserve a break, but you're only going to get it if you stress out a little bit more and help us with the PAWS Across America and get the laws changed. June 15th, mark your calendars, get off work, find a babysitter, do whatever you have to do, get your family, make your signs if you can't be there, and you don't have to be in a big city. If you don't have one, then just go to your local city hall, sit in front and put it on Facebook. But we're going to let the animals of America know that we are standing up, united as one across the United States of America. And I know this is a long video, but there's always a lot to say. And God bless you. I love you. And I will always be trying to update with new videos. And Jennifer Kennedy will always continue in my stead whenever I'm not feeling well, because most people know I have health issues. And God bless you and thank you all for your concern for my health. But I'm going to fight on, and I'm not going to give up, and I don't care if I have to die trying to save these animals. I'll know it's been for a good cause, because I know you guys are weary, and I'm weary too. So you know, we need to do this. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. Anyway, God bless, and let's do this, okay? PAWS Across America, all 50 states. Be there or be square. Love you.